All right, Alyssa, so I'm going to provide this reading to you and just provide it in a way that I am divinely guided to do so. And you may hear or experience a period of silence. And this is just me. I'm going to make more than one pile to just kind of answer more than one question and concern at a time. We are getting ready to go into a retrograde, Alyssa, so definitely be mindful of that, okay? I know that there's going to be, just like a lot of energy shifts, a lot of situations where, people might be triggered easily, people trying to trigger you. Retrograde always kind of brings that weird energy. I hate it. But anyway, I'm going to go over the first pile. In the first pile, I have the Six of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords. They're both in reverse. I really feel like you're just in this place where you're giving more than you're receiving in your relationship, and it's difficult to create a necessary balance or to fix a connection that is plagued with inequality. Like someone constantly wanting from you and wanting you to do this and wanting you to do that, but you're not able to receive the same kind of energy in return. So you're just like pouring out, but you're not receiving it back. And I feel like this is something that you're wanting or hoping, to fix in this connection, but it's impossible to fix something if there is a one-sided effort. There's only so much you can do. And I feel like it's almost like your energy bank is empty. You've been depleted. He has made so much withdrawal, I think you're beginning to kind of come to the open realization about the relationship, where it stands, how this person is treating you. Maybe looking towards freeing yourself from the pattern of toxicity that you've been engaging with him, just in general. I think for a while you were like really super trapped in your head and just kind of in a space where you were struggling to see a way out, struggling to see your own resources, your own support, But now you're like, that is not what it is. That's not where I stand. This is not what I should be dealing with, And I think you've come to this space where you're like, I probably could, but I need some encouragement. I need some signs of light. I need to know I'm supported. I need to have that confirmation, I do think that he's a very secretive person. I think that he sends confusing signals to just kind of complicate or hide his true feelings, or hide um, expressing them. I feel because of the confusion, your intuition is blocked a bit, struggling to kind of openly and honestly decipher what's happening all around you, and right under your nose. I think that there's an emotional disconnection, a sense of major manipulation happening in the connection with him. And he may say, you know, I love you and this and that, but his actions are not proving the same. I think that there's an intensity with him, but that he struggles with love. I really do think that there is a narcissistic tone here. He may care about you, but it's like an intense emotion versus like providing you with emotional safety and giving you security and a safe place, you know. I think he's a very guarded person, and almost feels like he's in a struggle in this relationship as well, but isn't owning up to that and being man enough to say, hey, you know, this is getting to be too much for me too, but instead projecting it in a different way. I think he's careless with your feelings, careless with your heart, in a loop of immature, childish, foolish patterns. I believe that he loves you, and I believe you love him, but I don't think that his emotions are grounded in a healthy, loving type of space. His love is more selfish and possessive and lacking empathy, and I think that it's because he's, you know, emotionally immature in many ways and struggles to be someone who is capable of consistent, real love. And I'll say that again, consistent, real love. What you experience in the beginning, this love bombing, this passion, this chemistry, you know what I mean? He struggles to be consistent with it because underneath it all, you know, he is very emotionally immature and struggles to be accountable for things, because why, you know, when he could just blame it all on you and not be forced to grow or expand outside of, like, you know, his own learned mindsets, you know, from his childhood or from whatever he's experienced that has guided him to be this way, you know. I think that also you're in the fight of your life in this connection because you love this man, and you know you're waiting for the person you fell in love with to return, to come to a place of peace and common ground, and it hasn't happened. You know, you're waiting and you're waiting and you're like, okay, dude, when does this cycle end? When do we move forward? And I feel like the block is just his inability to grow, his lack of desire to do so, you know. And it's turning into a situation where he's just projecting his misery with himself and making everyone else miserable who is around him. I think that the reason why you stay is because you feel like you are caught in this place of like all this wasted effort, and your feelings have been hurt, and because your feelings are so deeply hurt and you're in this kind of low vibrational space of just not feeling happy or emotionally fulfilled or seen, you know, you're also struggling with clarity of the situation, clarity of, you know, everything that's going on right in front of you, as well as your own self-worth, you know. I think you're just worried that you've done all of this for nothing, and that's not true. You know, you have a beautiful baby, and you have nothing but ample opportunity to continue to build your business, be successful, set boundaries, reach out to your support system. You know, I just think that it's all about you just kind of being honest with yourself, opening up to what is and what isn't working. You know what I mean? I think that your heart is in a place where you're still hoping to recover the seeds you've planted, the crop. You know what I mean? You've invested so much here, but the truth is already right in front of you. And I think that, you know, right now you're in a space of grievance, grieving a dream that you had that is now lost, that is now tainted, that is now just changed beyond recognition, you know. And I think that that is just so deeply understandable. And I want you to just be nice to yourself, be kind with your journey, be kind with the process of this journey, and just know that it is absolutely possible for you to set yourself free. You know, I think that it's important to remember to work on the heavy pattern that you may have or learned in this relationship of blaming yourself, constantly saying, you know, if I could be better, if I could do this better, if I could just remember to shut the bathroom door, if I could just keep remembering his snack, that if I'm better, it'll fix things. But love, true love, is not something that you earn through consistent, constant self-sacrifice. I think that, you know, you're being mistreated, and it's just about recognizing that this may be a trauma bond, and that for whatever reason, it's become a habit to keep forgiving things that you probably shouldn't. So I have one more thing I'm going to draw cards for, but I want to talk about these two as well. Okay, so, you know, I have the Lovers card in reverse, and it just tells me that this connection started out beautiful. It started out passionate. It started out as something that felt purposeful and meant to be and just extraordinary, you know. And somewhere along the lines, he stopped choosing you back, and you continue to choose again and again, and you still do. And I'm not judging you for it, Alyssa, never ever, okay? I think that instead of it being meant to be now, it's more of like feeling very trapped, and trapped in a loop, a cycle. But you're not really trapped, you know? I think that there's so much waiting to just kind of help relieve you of what you're experiencing in this moment. I know that you're exhausted, but at the end of the day, you know, you're strong, you're powerful. And I think that it's just about you coming to terms with the fact that you're going to have to hold on to a boundary, that you're going to have to defend your peace like your life depends on it, because your own emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical freedom depend on it. Block any and everything that wants to drag you back down to chaos, drama, or make you feel bad about yourself. And surround yourself with people who love you, who want to pour into you, who provide you with an energy, a support that makes you feel good about yourself, you know? So the friend, you wanted me to ask about the friend. I don't think that talking to the friend is going to be beneficial to you. I think that you'll be disappointed. I think this person will just help to justify his actions, make you try to feel sorry for him. You'll hope to gain clarity, you know, and you'll hope to get a real understanding and like a real truth from this person, but they're gonna just fucking lead you astray. I think that they will just make it worse. I think communicating with the friend is pointless. It's drama. It will delay your healing. I think you're trying to force an answer. You're trying to gain an understanding, and maybe he is trying to force an answer. If it doesn't apply to you, then you know this would be a form of control, a form of controlling the narrative. And I just think it would make you feel worse and more judged and more unbalanced and more insecure and more energetically drained and pushed to the side. I think that it's time to center yourself and be quiet and let the silence be the answer to everything while you reclaim your peace. You don't need a third person to validate things your intuition already knows, nor do you need a third person to create more chaos and confusion. Okay? I feel like you just don't need to talk to your friend. You need to go within. The answers are already within you. I think talking to his friend would just make it worse. It would just be pointless. When you seek the truth from another person, you're just going to receive confusion. It's time to go inward, you know. I don't think you'll find closure in this friend. I don't think that you'll find closure in him either. I think that you'll be happier if you choose peace over the drama that's being created here, especially between the two of them. Okay, just some last advice before I go. I'm gonna go to work. I don't know who's knocking on my door, but I'm working. I'm working. I'm sorry. I knew my kid locked himself out. Anyway. I just wanted to know, like, what do you need to know from me? What is the, you know, ending message, the ending insight that I could give you to help guide you through this? I really feel like it's important to not allow him to isolate you and to stand on that. There's a community that wants to help you, wants to be there for you, wants to serve you in a positive way. But I feel like the isolation kind of like blocks them out, puts you out of touch with the understanding that people would, in fact, support you, be there for you, provide you with resources, advice, you know, whatever. It's just about you just kind of facing that fear and saying, no, you know, I deserve to go and connect with my friends. I deserve to go and be around my family. I deserve to do my job because it provides me with a sense of relief, community, support, something outside of motherhood, because I'm more than just a mother. I feel like there's no teamwork in your household, and I feel like you're trying to build where a person is not helping you lay any of the bricks or do any of the important work necessary to move upward, forwards. There's a stagnancy, you know. You're in a place of a turning point, and the universe is, you know, telling you, look, you know, you're dealing with a person who's childish, manipulative, insincere. It's resurfacing past wounds. You're clinging on to, you know, the hope for apology, affection that's not coming. And I'm just getting the message from Spirit saying you don't have to beg for crumbs. You don't have to wait around to be breadcrumbed. Listen to your gut, because it's been screaming the truth at you for some period of time. But maybe this truth, this intuitive download and insight, you know, it's just hard to face it, because I think you're already sensing it and feeling it, but it's just really hard to face. And I don't blame you. But this is your opportunity to have a breakthrough, you know. I think what's going to happen in this connection is going to be raw and freeing. But, you know, soon or now, you will have the mental clarity to see through the bullshit, the illusions, the emotional traps, the emotional manipulation. It's time to use your voice. It's time to set boundaries. It's time to choose Alyssa, because you already know exactly what's real. And I just think it's very difficult to stand where you are, because you wanted something and you're looking at it in the grave, you know. And I get that heartache. I've felt that heartache twice as well. And what I'm getting is that what you're looking from all around you is within yourself, and that it's time to have hope and faith in yourself to balance things out, to overcome someone who's pushing your boundaries, making you already feel alone as it is, someone who is draining you, causing conflict with you, who's impatient, unkind. You know, you're already thinking about it. The angels support you, beautiful. Do not be afraid. Love and light.